hab ein Röslein stehen, Röslein auf der Heiden, war so jung und morgenschön.
We are here in Dietrich Fischer-Dieskau's house where he lived for many, many years in Berlin. That's the house he bought together with his first wife. That's the house where the family lived, where the kids grew up, and where I also had the chance to work with him a few times, exactly here in this space where the piano was and where he was teaching me.
Und wüssten Sie, Blumen, die Kleinen, wie tief verwundet mein Herz.
Aufwärts.
Sie würden mit mir weinen, zu heilen meinen Schmerz. Und wüssten Sie, Nachtigallen, wie ich so traurig und krank, sie ließen früh.
Fischer-Dieskau for me was a real mentor. He was not just a vocal teacher talking about technique and interpretation. It was also about stagecraft, how to present yourself, also in front of promoters, how you talk to them, how to create programs.
Kämen aus ihrer Höhe,
Zeit!
und sprechen Trost mir ein.
The first time I met Dietrich Fischer-Dieskau was in 2009 in a masterclass at the Schubertiade in Schwarzenberg. It was quite a meeting because I've heard that he can be quite challenging. I was supposed to bring 10 Schubert songs with me or suggest 10 Schubert songs, and I, knowing about his personality, I suggested 30 Schubert songs, and 2 weeks later he sent a list back with 4 Schubert songs, and all 4 Schubert songs were not part of my list.
Leise, kleine, laute Flüstere, was ich dir vertraute, dort zu jenem Fenster hin.
This is an absolutely incredible instrument here. It's the instrument of Dietrich Fischer-Dieskau, which was in his house in Berlin for many, many years. And on top of that, we have this incredible frame inside where most of the pianists he worked with signed. So we have Daniel Barenboim, we have Alfred Brendel here, we have Wilhelm Kempf, Hertha Klust, we have Gerard Moore here, and many, 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 many others. I mean, it's like being in a museum and discovering names, and therefore it is an incredible instrument which is also really a piece of time and history.
Wer die Sehnsucht kennt, weiß, was ich leide. Allein und abgetrennt von aller Freude.
The person on the picture and the painter is Dietrich Fischer-Dieskau. In 2025, he would celebrate his 100th birthday. He was a singer, he was a painter, he played the piano, he conducted. He was an all-rounder, and he was a huge inspiration, particularly as a singer who was famous for German art songs, Lieder.
We are here in the foyer of the Deutsche Oper Berlin. For Fischer-Dieskau, this was the most important house. He also opened it here as Don Giovanni in 1961. Before this building was built, he had his debut as an opera singer in 1948, singing Posa, coming back to Berlin after being a prisoner of war and starting his career really here, absolutely in Berlin. And therefore this house was always the most important house, opera house for him.
Züfte Wind durch meine Mühe.
It was important for me to create an album in a way to introduce him as a person, as a human, who he was outside of the stage, which events in his life were important and shaped him as a human and as an artist. And therefore, there's a lot of music on this album which had an influence on him. Music written by his father, by his brother, music he learned during the time of the war, also as a prisoner of war in Italy afterwards, where he really had his first step as a singer and performed in front of thousands of other prisoners of war. So it's an album which shows him in a very different light and where hopefully people understand him better who he was.
The album is called For Dieter, The Past and the Future. It's a dedication of the composer Benjamin Britten, which he wrote at the front page of a new piece he wrote for Dietrich Fischer-Dieskau at a time when the singer struggled a lot because of the death of his wife. I thought it's an appropriate title because we focus on the past, on the legacy of Dietrich Fischer-Dieskau, but also we look into the future, the impact he had on me and the inspiration for so many young musicians now and in the future.